We have a lot of women's centers in the United States, and we have men's centers too, but the men's centers are called prisons. But they're not just prisons. They're prisons in which almost all of the men in the men's centers are dad-deprived boys. In the prisons are dad-deprived boys. Almost all of your school shooters and your mass shooters are dad-deprived boys. And the lack of consciousness on the part of these three female interviewers to discover the lack of father involvement in among ISIS recruits. So if you look at what, so this is ISIS recruits, this is school shootings, this is mass shootings.
It's gangs.
And this is gangs. It is also, we care a great deal about our children not becoming alcoholics. The alcoholism is far more likely to occur. We have alcoholism, it gets triggered by environmental stress and environmental types of things where we're trying to repress things. And the children who grow up without dads, they don't have guidance to channel their testosterone in constructive ways. When boys don't, in adolescent years, have this enormous surge of testosterone, and we don't have dads to help us know how to respect and treat women, to know how to take risks with women, but not so many risks that the woman feels overwhelmed. Then the boy becomes fearful without that father guidance of how does he take risks without being rejected, and he tends to withdraw. Boys without fathers are far more likely to be depressed. They're far more likely to be alienated. They're far more likely to commit suicide. Lack of father involvement is the single biggest predictor of suicide. With my dad, I've got to learn to finish my task, finish doing what I need to do. Metaphor for finishing peas is being what I need to do in order to get what I want to get, had the ice cream. So the child learns to focus on the task of finishing the peas. That is, its attention is focused. With mom, the attention deficit is allowed to set in because the child, instead of focusing on finishing the peas, is allowed to think of other things like, how can I manipulate a better deal? And if mom is, if in a divorce situation, let's say, and feeling guilty about the divorce, the mom is saying in her mind's eye, I don't want to get into a fight about a few peas when Billy or Jane has just been bullied at school, or they feel depressed about not doing well in the math test, or they know that I'm feeling a little bit down. I want to take these precious moments and I want to work out a compromise with my kids. But the kids learn to say, aha, where is the vulnerable area that I can present about myself? How can I present myself as enough of a victim to get mom's sympathy to be able to have to eat fewer peas to get the ice cream? Nobody is badly intended here. Everybody wants the best thing for their child. But the child with the mother learns to manipulate that better deal. The child with the father learns that manipulating that better deal is fruitless, and it's only going to get me less of what I want. Therefore, I better pay attention focus rather than attention deficit. Now is the big stuff, which is the slippery slope that leads to. With that attention deficit, the child has not learned postponed gratification. Postponed gratification is the single most important predictor of a child doing well in life, success-wise, versus a child doing poorly. Now, we often try to say, well, what does success mean? Well, here's the way that translates. The child who does not feel able to postpone gratification goes to school, and no matter what success means to him or her, if it means finishing homework, if it means doing well at basketball or in a sports event, if it means reciting perfecting skills to become an Olympic star, or a good pianist or a good violinist, no matter what your purpose is, no matter what your dream is, you are less able to fulfill it if you have postponed gratification. You get started on your homework and a text comes in and you have to respond to the text. You get distracted and you don't have the postponed gratification. The end result of not having that postponed gratification is you start feeling worse about yourself. Especially boys tend to feel worse about themselves. That leads to depression, that leads to alienation, that leads to a greater likelihood of being addicted. to people outside of your friendship network because you don't have a friendship network of respect. And that tends to lead to not only depression, but in worst case scenarios, suicide, and in worst case scenarios, such anger at the schools that it's a potential setup for school shootings.
Oh, okay.